Hi everyone, it's Tim, Grandad's Workshop. Thanks for joining me. Now then, you'll probably be aware, or you will if you go on my channel and have a look, that I'm having a bash at one of those big spiral wooden Christmas trees. Now, part way through, it became apparent that I would need a 3-foot long clamp, or something in the region of 3 foot or longer. Now, being a bit of a tight wad that I am, I think you can buy them for, I'm not sure if they're 19 quid each or for a pair, something like that online. But I needed it fairly quick. That was one reason, and as I say, I'm a bit tight. So what I did, I decided, because it was another challenge, it was a challenge within a challenge, I decided I'd have a look around my garage, my workshop, see what bits of metal I had, scrap metal lying around, and this is what I came up with. So we had 2 pieces, you can see the join there, we had 2 pieces of angle iron. Not sure what that is, it's what's that, 1 3/4 across both ways, angle iron, and I had 2 at exactly 3 foot, so it was always going to end up too short, because by the time I've actually trimmed any off, which I'd have to do and bring the mechanism into play, it was going to be too short to make one 3-foot boxed section. So I've had to weld it together to make one. Well, I think we've ended up about 5 foot by the time we've hacked bits off. So we've got a 5 foot length of this angle iron. So at the business end, I managed to find, I think it's off of like a trailer hitch or something like that. It was like a plate. It's got a threaded section. I found this big looping threaded bar in another tub, which happened to be the same thread, which was handy. I've got a few pieces of flat plate which I've used to make the sliding mechanism. So I don't know what you can see in there. The screw goes into there, comes out and pushes the sliding section along, or obviously out, to give it more space. So that is essentially the underside. So your wooden pieces would butt together. I think I'll be able to do it with one hand, so we'll show you later on actually in being used. So that's that end. Then all the way along the length there was already loads of holes that were completely in the wrong places, so I've marked and drilled at, I think I went for 4 inches. Yeah, them holes I went for 4 inches apart all the way down, and then right the way to the end. And then this bit is the stopping block, which again I found a little section of square section that's just been off cut from something. We've welded a flat plate to the face. Inside is the stud. See that? Just unscrew that. There's a stud or a bolt, if you like, going through into the top of the, you can see that there, top of the square block. So I've tack welded that in, which left thread coming out of the top, which is where that lovely little arm comes in. So that is what we've used for the stop block at the end, so you can move that along to the next hole, and so on and so on and so on. So that's pretty much what we ended up with. The screw mechanism at that end, and just a simple little block with a nice flat face on it at the other end. So I'll show you, I'll go through that step by step, show you what I did. I am not a welder, so take no notice of anything I do, because it will probably not be right. I have never welded before. Well, I'm laying there. I once had a dabble at one of these little scrap metal motorcycles, you know, with the bearings for wheels and such like. That's, in fact, I'll grab that for you. So there you go, that is the only thing I have ever welded in my natural. We had a go. It doesn't stand much scrutiny. The welding is pretty rough. And that was done on a MIG welder. Now I've recently bought a stick welder. It's one of these like little mini ones. So I bought one of them, and that's what I'm going to have a go with. I've not even switched it on yet. I bought it second hand off a guy. It looks like he says he used it a few times and it looks new, so did a bit of a deal. So I'm going to be using a stick welder for the very first time. Never even switched it on before, so stay tuned, have a look at that, and hopefully it was of some help. As I say, I'm not a professional or an experienced welder of any kind, so just use this as a bit of fun to see if it's even possible for a complete novice rookie to even begin something like this. But if you fancy having a go, by all means get onto YouTube and get into some of these professional welders, because they'll give you all the safety tips, and they'll probably show you totally different ways of doing things to the way I do it. But anyway, have a look, see what you think. Alright, stay tuned. Okay, so how ambitious is this? The lads welded one piece of angle iron quite badly, but welded it, and now the key to my angle grinder case has snapped. So let's have a go. What's the worst that can happen? I'm going to draw it first, I think, so that I can maybe cut one out if, as a last resort. Wish me luck. See what, if anything, we've got there, shall we? Let's see, shall we? 100% straight, but I'm not moving camera just for this, so I'll just try and tickle this up on the grinding wheel. That's the underside. Open sesame. Brilliant. So, I don't think we're too far off with that. A tiny little circle. The only thing we don't know for sure is how far down we want the piece. So, we'll just sit tight with that for a moment. So if we mark that piece as such, and if we take the top of two of these, do we risk cutting them? Chance that. Alright, another double cut here. Go off for a minute. That is pretty much how it's going to go. So, look at this. That's pretty much bang on halfway. So that is what I'm going to do. Tiny bit, half a millimetre, not too fussed about that, just go and tickle the edges. Top piece in like that. So that shim should just give us enough of a gap for it to slide. It's making sure this plate is in line with the plate at the bottom, so when we come to weld the face on, that's square to the target. Well, not very square actually, but near enough. Near enough. Right, let's give it a go, shall we? We can leave it where it is to do this one. So there's my little washer. There it is. There it is. I'm a bit worried about welding the bloody clamp there. But that does look like we've got it all, so. Take the little shim out. That's going to go, get pushed along by the. So far, so good. Right, I'm just going to do a little bit of handheld videoing for this bit because we seem to keep moving from one location to another and then to put it in the holder. Basically, what we've done so far is some beautiful welding in there, but what we have achieved is it was just a very deep washer, but it wasn't quite the right diameter for this little puppy, so we've drilled it out and we've also just filed and tickled down the end of this. Look at all that. It's like a flanged nut, I guess. So we've tickled up the end of the flange, so it now makes for a nice fit inside that hole there. So we're going to weld that. We're just going to try and tack weld a couple of little tack welds in the end, just because we don't want it coming off in the future. We've put that plate on beforehand because what's going to happen is it's going to go into there like so, and that is going to go inside up against the nut. We need it to be able to turn, so I could do the little spacer really between the nut and the plate, but I've been looking, I haven't got anything, so I'm just going to hope it'll come out with enough clearance just to turn, and then the whole ensemble will be going like so. So let's see if we can get this bit on first. So what we're looking for is just a couple of little tacks just to keep that nut in situ. Right, so just as you can see, just ground that down a little bit just to get our flat face back. Call me a flat face, I just did. Right, so that's going to go in there, the plate is going to go there. The tricky bit now is keeping it all aligned and straight, because that's how it's going to sit, like so. We need to keep it. bit cool in here now, but that could be it, unless something drops off. Right, so it's not the prettiest bit of kit you've ever seen, and it's not exactly quick thread, but it seems to be working. So as you can see, it's quite slow, but we're going to get, I think, about a 4-inch travel. Let me just get back to the starting grid. So if you go from the start, let's just mark it up. So we're going from roughly there. I'll fast forward this, so don't worry about that. It's about 20 minutes this now. Let's get to that end. More room there obviously, but so from that mark you're looking roughly 4 inches, 4-inch to from the mark, start mark to the end, about 4 inches. So what we need to do now is just spin that round, is we need to bob some holes in here for our end piece. Now the thing is, there is some holes in, but unfortunately they're not central, they're off centre, and they're all at different lengths. So because I was just going to go every sort of 4-inch, so I think that's probably what I'll do. Just be sharp enough. Existing hole. So we need a hole in this, because this is going to be the end piece. Clamp up against. Nice, nice. So this I'm going to try for the end stop. Basically, again, just bits of stuff that I am picking about. So drilled and made my own little square hole. Look at that, how beautiful is that? So this has got a square flange on it. Don't really need it particularly, but I like it. So that's going to go in there. Nice tight. Look at that. Wow. And that is going to go through the actual clamp through one of these holes. Anyway, I'm gonna put that on. It's just a bit of scrap angle iron, so that gives me the same depth as the actual clamp itself. And we can get this welded up. You can see that with this light, but I'm going to hold the stud in place so we can get a little couple of tack welds in there, and then that, now we've got our spacer on, so we've got the stopper itself, piece of scrap angle iron, and then that nut is going to give us roughly where we want to cut, a little bit above it, so which then we can replace it with this bit more of a quick release. So see if we can get that welded into place, cut the stud down to the length, and then we're somewhere near, we'll give it a try. Well, I'm not quite sure what happened, but we managed to miss the end bit of this video. But to be fair, we've not missed a huge amount. Basically all we did, we ground off the surplus from the 3/16 plate. So we've ground them up. They've gone back in the spares tub, and we've ground down, they ground off the top end of the threaded spigot, so that left us, once we've cleaned it all up now, but essentially we've got a nice flat face which has been welded to the square block all the way around. We've got our threaded piece at the top just tacked underneath, and all we're doing with that goes over towards the main body of the clamp. There it is in all its glory, and that will sit in these screw holes, which are all 4 inch apart. A nice smooth face aiming towards the adjustable sliding threaded section at this end. So that's what we've got. That'll go like that. If you turn that back over, should do this with one hand just rather than hook it all up. So that would be your piece. Couple of spaces, because what I didn't allow for was if that was down to the bottom on its own, it would hit the side of the angle iron. Duh. So it's no biggie, just a few washers. I could always tack something on the end of this if we needed to, but at this moment in time it is a bit easier than that. That's the one-handed tack. So yeah, it's not the prettiest thing. We could do with just a little bit more grinding, another lick of paint, and I think that would make it look a lot more cheerful. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put it immediately into its first task, which is to hold together a series of lats, wooden lats, that we're putting together to build a 7-foot spiral Christmas tree. So there we go. Let's rush off into the woodworking section. Here we go. See you in a few minutes. I would have not been able to do much without this, so scoff at your peril. Yeah, little sort of four and a bit. I think it might have ended up. Last hole takes 2. Yeah, that's 4.5 foot you get out of that. So made out of all scrap that I had kicking around the garage. Complete non-welder. Welded a few bits and pieces. I'm quite happy with it. And because he did such a good job on his first task, I've given him his own hook on the back wall and allowing him to hang there now. Bit of free time until the next task. So there you go. So I hope you've enjoyed it. As I say, it's just to show that even novices with a bit of scrap and a few bits and pieces and a bit of willpower and a look at 1 or 2 experts on YouTube, you can get things done. So please like and subscribe, that would be great, and I will be putting a link in for the spiral Christmas tree, the wooden spiral Christmas tree, so please have a look at that. Click on the link. I'm not sure how you do it yet, but I'll have a look into that, and if you hit the link, which will be in the description I guess, then you can have a look at how we put the tree together. Okie doke, till the next time. Adios.